Hey everybody, welcome to Live Coding with Jesse. I'm Jesse, and today we're going to get back to doing some stuff with React components. Specifically, we're going to style some things. So I know for the last week or so we've been working with MySQL databases and cloud storage and setting all that up, which was really cool. Learned a lot about that, but I haven't actually done any React in a while. So I'm excited to get back to it. And hey everybody, see some hellos in the chat. And just as I guess an update from yesterday, so decided not to go with the basically like setting up a CNAME or an A record to work with that Google Cloud storage. So right now what I've been doing is trying to set up the MySQL database to work with WordPress running on now. So that's what I was just doing. I just made an export of the database from WordPress, and I was about to import it into our Cloud SQL database, but I think I'm going to put that on hold, and we're going to do some styles, and then I'll come back to that later on. After that, I'll need to set up our WordPress URL to go to the right place instead of our DigitalOcean droplet. And then we should be all good to go with WordPress, and that'll be our production ready WordPress deployment. Some weird stuff going on outside my office, so this is just checking it out. Alright, let me get my other screen ready, and then I'll switch over the view so that you can see it all as well. We will mostly be in Visual Studio Code, and let me bring this up. First place will be alright, cool. I think everything is set up and should be working fine. There we are. Okay, so this is the main website. Should be pretty familiar to everyone at this point. And I was just finishing up a Pomodoro session, so that's how much time I had left. Almost got the full session in. And we're gonna go today. We're gonna look at a few different pages and see like what styling needs done, and we'll kind of go from there and see what we can do. So here's one thing that my guest yesterday noticed. So we had a kind of a guest on the show towards the end of yesterday's show named Haley, and she's going to help out with the site. I'm hoping to hire her on as a contract worker, so I'm going to try to get all the details figured out today so that she can start. But she noticed here that we have this link that's just a plain link, right? It's got the underline, it's got the blue, everything. It doesn't really like match, right? I mean, it has the right font at least, but it's a little weird that it's just there. In this case, the title actually makes sense, right? We can tell it's a CV, right? A curriculum vitae. But some of the other file names don't make any sense. So we definitely should style this a bit differently and let people know what it is. So this is this is what we're going to work on first, and it is going to take a bit of CSS, but we're also going to potentially need to do some stuff with JavaScript as well. So that's first up. Let me set my timer. There we are, and let's get to it. So this is, let's make it bigger. So I don't need that. That was our deployment plan, and we don't need this right now, and we don't need this. All right. Let me know if that font's big enough for everyone. If you're just joining us for the first time, I just set a Pomodoro timer, and so we're going to code for about 25 minutes. When that timer goes off, I'm going to go back to the live chat, and I'm going to answer your questions. So if you do have any questions, please put them in the chat now, and I will get to them in about 25 minutes. All right, so very simple with this component. I'm going to just describe this, hopefully so that even if you don't know React, you'll know what's going on. All our data is stored in WordPress. We're using the WordPress API. Well, we're using GraphQL to pull in the data, and we're bringing that data in, and we're basically just displaying all of it in a div on the page. Up here, we're changing the data a little bit. There's some things in there that just don't work for us right now, so we're changing that data. So here where we're changing the data, I think we need to change a little bit about that curriculum vitae. Let's see, Harshit says it's not readable on mobile. All right, I'll make it bigger. Hopefully that's better. I think if I go any bigger, it's going to be a little hard to see it enough to actually do anything. Let me show you what the markup looks like, and that way we can come up with a plan on how to edit that. Okay. So I'm just going to inspect this in Chrome DevTools, and it's really small, so I'm going to make this bigger. Okay. So we see here the link is contained inside this CV link element, and then we just have an A tag, and we have our file and the title there. So this isn't going to be as straightforward as some of the other adjustments that we made that are already present in the component, but this is what we need to target, right? The A tag within the CV link. So let's try to do that. So we were using regular expressions here to find what we wanted, and then we were just replacing that. I'm not sure that that's going to work for us now, or at least not in the same way. So the problem is, like, I can definitely target this, and this will be the same across all of these pieces of data for these faculty profiles. But I target this, and then I still need to at least get this href, right? So I guess CV link href. All right, my people out there who know a little bit more about regular expressions, let me know what you think of this. I'm going to tell you what I want to do, but I'm not exactly sure how to do it. So let's work that out. So here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to potentially find this section, basically CV link href equals, and then this first quotation mark, and then grab everything up until that second quotation mark. I want to grab that and then insert it into a template literal, and then put that inside the CV link. So I think that'll be the best way. Then what I'll do is just change the title of this to, I don't know, curriculum vitae, something like that. And so everybody will have a link that just says curriculum vitae. So it'll all be standard. We'll style the link too, so they know, like, there won't be a million different, you know, names for each professor's curriculum vitae. So no matter what the file name is that they upload, it'll say the same thing. But I do still need to know what this href is pointing to. So let's see. I'm going to see what you all are saying about this right now. Michael says, can't you do CV link first child? John says, find CV link and change it to HTML5 details element will probably be the only of this type, then style the tag, the A tag under details. I'm not necessarily worried about the styling, because that's going to be, I can just style the CV link directly. Basically, I need somehow to grab this value inside the href. If I can get this, if I can get this value, then I'm fine. But I just need a way to get this value, only this value, and the only information that I'll have across all the pieces of content that we'll have for faculty profiles is this CV link. So I need to grab the href value inside the A, inside the CV link. If this was back in my jQuery days, this would be easy, but it's not. And essentially, remember, we're not dealing with like the DOM here. At this point, this is just a string coming through. So, you know, we're still dealing with this content as a string, right? It gets set as, you know, HTML here, but we can't use like normal. At least if we're going to make the change before it actually hits the page, we can't. Actually, I just had an idea. Okay, so we can't. I really hate to do this because it's React, but alright, here's an alternate plan. What if we just let the data go into the DOM as is? Then afterwards, so like, I don't know, after the components mounts or whatever, then we do some stuff to manipulate it while it's in the DOM. Would that be easier? Could we just go in at that point, find the A tag within the CV link element, and then just change the text? And would that mess up React's ability to track what's going on? Would that also mess up our server-side rendering? Would the server-side rendering be off from what's on the client side? Okay, so Harshit's saying that would work. Niki's saying we'd want to do it in component did mount. Okay. All right. Well, we could try it. I think, for me at least, because I'm not an expert at all in regular expressions, I think it might be easier to try the second way, but I'm still open to the first way. right, so let's see. Let's assume. I guess we can do some work here in the console actually. So let's go in here to the console. Let's clear all this out. Let's say document get element by tag name, and then let's say CV. Is it CV link? Is that what it was? Let's see if we can grab it. Yep. So we have CV link. We can get that. So we have our CV link. And we have our inner HTML and our inner text. Yes. All right. How about this? Let's try this. Inner text equals no, it didn't actually change it. Shoot. I need to get more space here. Let's open this up. Alright, so I can change it here, but it doesn't actually update in the DOM. CV link in your text. Okay, Harshit says it won't mess up as that part is not frequently re-rendered. Okay. All right, cool. Awesome, Michael. I think I think you get the right idea there. CV link. Let's try this. Oops, what was I thinking? Why did I do that? CV link 0. Yes, okay, that's what we need. Alright, cool, but it's not. It actually changed everything in there. Okay, so it's not exactly what we want. Let's see. Let's look at this structure a little bit more. Text content. I think that's what might work better. Outer HTML, outer. Inner text. It looks like there's a lot that we could try to target here. Let's try something else then. Let's refresh the page and try something else. So it looks like we could try text content, or we could try outer text. I'd rather not have to mess with the A tag at all, right? So let's refresh. So I want to get the original stuff back here. We'll inspect this again, and then alright, so let's check it out. Instead of inner text, what did I say we were gonna do? Was it text content? Okay, let's see if this works. Equals test. Nah, it still takes it all out. Okay, we'll have to get. Harshit's saying use query selector. Michael's saying could we try CV link 00? Yeah, let's try that. So let's say, let's see what we get if we put a 0 in here. Undefined. Okay. 0. Alright, so Harshit, that's a great idea. So Harshit's saying we could do document dot query selector and then do CV link a. Shoot, it's not working. Oh, no wonder it's not working. I just took it out of the page. Alright, now let's try it one more time. CV link A, yes. Okay, so we have CV link A, and let's try to go, what was it? Inner text. Let's try to change that inner text. Yes, and does this work? It does. We're getting the right. Nice. Alright, so that's what we need to use. So let's copy that. And let's go over here and let's add a component did mount. And let's try to do document query selector equals view CV. We'll say view CV. Let's see if that works. We'll save it. See, this is, let this be a lesson to everyone. my mistake. So when you don't take the time to learn how to select things in the DOM with vanilla JavaScript, plain JavaScript, and you just rely on jQuery all the time, you don't remember all of these selectors. So you all were giving me the names, right? Luckily, I also had DevTools that was auto-completing stuff for me so I could see what it was. But if we were working with jQuery, I would know automatically how to do that, and I would have done it in, you know, a minute. It would have been easy, right? So that's awesome if I always get to work with jQuery, but I don't. In fact, I rarely use jQuery at all anymore. And I know how to do a lot with React, but when it comes to stuff like this, I don't have that background knowledge of it. I assume it's possible, but I always have to look it up, so it slows me down. So I appreciate all the help there, but starting out, sometimes you, for me at least, I know, like, I would look at stuff like this and say, it's so much easier to do in jQuery, I'm just going to use jQuery, right? And I never took the time to learn that. So there's value in taking the time to learn that. Like, this is always going to work. But the jQuery will only work if you're using jQuery. Right, and there's not really a guarantee that you're always going to have that available. So just a note, if you're thinking like I did, that this is just way too much typing to do something that you don't have to type as much in jQuery, there's definitely a time for this. Alright, so enough about that. Let's see if it actually works. Refresh. Okay. Alright, it does work. There's a little flash, which is not unexpected. There's a small flash of the original content. So I'll say this. At this point, essentially we've done what we wanted to do with that. I don't like that there's a little flash. It's not the end of the world. But that's where I think that the regular expression solution that I talked about first would probably be the better solution, because we would never get that flash of content. So I guess what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do this right now, and that way, for those of you who aren't quite familiar with Git and GitHub, this might be helpful to you. We will go to, let's see if I have it. Yeah. We're going to go here and I'm going to open up an issue, right? And that way, this will be good for two reasons. One, I won't forget about it, but then also this is going to be there for anyone that would like to tackle this issue. And we'll say this, to change. Alright, so we're just going to leave a little issue, right? So if anybody wants to try to tackle it and they're good with regular expressions, they can try to, fix that. Or I shouldn't say fix it, but fix it in what I think will be a better way, right? They'll solve that problem in a better way. So let's see. Alright, so right now in the faculty.js component, this is probably hard to see, I'll zoom in. So right now in the faculty.js component, this text is changed. Component did mount. There we go. So that's just a really basic amount of info. It does say what component to look in. So I think this will be okay for now. Potentially I could add some screenshots and things like that. I'm not, since I'm streaming right now. But I mean, the more information you can add to an issue, the more it would help someone who wants to actually solve that issue. And we can give it a label as well. And we can say help wanted. And now everyone will know, hey, like, this is up for grabs. Let's submit this issue. Okay. And, maybe someone's interested, maybe someone's not. Let me check my time, and before we go on, all right, about 2 minutes. This is enough time to do some basic CSS stuff, just to see like what we would want to do. So when we're doing CSS, I think it's always a great idea to do your initial stuff in the in DevTools. So let me get rid of my console area here, and I'm gonna push this out so we have as much space as we can, because really what I want to get to is this portion here. So on this A tag, that's where we're going to focus our styles. So what we want to do is get rid of that line. So we're going to do text decoration none. Okay, right? And that just got rid of that line for us. And I definitely want the color to be something different. So we're going to change that color, and I want it to be the same color that we've been using for links elsewhere. And let me find where we have that color. And do we not have it anywhere on this page? I thought we'd have it somewhere. All right, let me open up a new little window here so I can find where that color is, since I can't remember what the hex code is. I'm pretty sure that we have it here. Oh, there it was. I skipped over it. So this is the color we've been using for links. Let's inspect, grab the hex code. There we go. I knew we were using something that would be difficult to remember. So we did change it up a little bit, use the HSLA instead of just a normal hex color. Let's do color, HSLA. There we go. So that's much cleaner. I think, to just have it there. Because it's a different color, you know, it may invite users to click. If we wanted it to stand out more, if we thought maybe that was really like important, we could make maybe the font weight a bit bigger. We could even think about making it a button. But I mean, the words view CV seem to invite a click, right? So in general, for something like this is not really an action that I want users to take. I'd rather make it subtle but clear. If I really, really wanted users to click on that CV, I would probably make it a button, and I would make it stand out so that as soon as you see that page, like that button is right there. So I think this will be okay. My timer did just go off, so I'm going to take a short break. We'll do a 5-minute break, and then we'll come back and we'll transfer those styles over into probably a CSS file for this particular component, and I'll explain why we're going to do it like that when we come back for our second Pomodoro session. So right now I'm going to scroll up to the top of the chat, try to answer as many questions as I can in this 5-minute period. I'm also going to very quickly look at my messages and make sure that there's nothing work related. Alright, it doesn't look like it. I just got a charge from Google Services for $4.23. I wonder if that was from yesterday, when I did all that stuff. I don't know for sure if it's from yesterday, but it's possible. Light Space says greetings from Germany. Hey, how's it going? Oh, Ezekiel says freeCodeCamp has been updated and it's new. Oh, I didn't. Let's check that out. freeCodeCamp.org. I have not seen the new stuff. Sign in. Wait, really? Didn't you used to be able to do this with GitHub? If you pre-sign in, you get a click here to add an email address to your account. Sign in. Okay. Yep. Submit. Yay, go to the coding curriculum. Yeah, let's learn about that. Wow. Alright, sorry I'm hijacking this 5-minute session here, but I think this is amazing. Okay, so new stuff on freeCodeCamp. 1,000 coding challenges, more than 1,000 new coding challenges. Amazing. That's really, I might have to start doing coding challenges again. I mean, just for fun, just to check it out. So information security stuff, testing, really cool. New certifications. So these are in addition to the old ones. There's 6 new certifications. Wow. Okay, so you can skip the coding challenges and just do the project. If you're able to complete the project, you can get the certification. That's cool. Alright, cool. There are test suites for the projects. Very cool. Coding interview prep challenges. That could be very useful. Very cool. Enhanced privacy. I'm not that worried about the privacy. I just assume I have no privacy on the internet. But if you're worried about that, that's cool. Fully customizable portfolio pages. That's cool. Oh, that's really cool. So the freeCodeCamp portfolio pages were kind of, you really couldn't do much with them before. Built the platform for curriculum now. Learn.freecodecamp.org. Very cool. Alright, let's check that out. As you type search, very cool. If you've watched what we've done with search before, you know I'm a fan of the as you type search. Passwordless sign-in. Y'all know I'm also a big fan of the passwordless sign-in as well. That's cool. New welcome dashboard. Awesome. Really cool. Yeah, for sure. Let's give that a... What? This is a separate account for freeCodeCamp.org account. I know. I'm pretty sure I already have this account too, right? I do. Yes. Awesome. Alright. Alright, cool. Alright, so here's the new, some of the curriculum, the new stuff. I'm not going to go through all of it, but just to see like what we have here. Cool. Got some React stuff, Redux, database, APIs, security, and the coding prep stuff. Really cool. New stuff like CSS grid. That's cool. This is really cool. What is this? Introduction. Go to the first lesson. Really cool. That's awesome. Wow. There are a lot of coding projects. Alright, challenges. You can see I haven't got any of my certificates yet. 0 out of 6. But anyway, that's cool. Hopefully that that was helpful for you all. I was just really excited. So, you know what? Let me just reset that and answer some questions, since I said I was going to do 5 minutes of questions. Cool. Aim High's here. Yeah, I haven't seen you here in a long time. How's it going? How's the job going? You don't have to tell me on the chat if you don't want to, but send me a DM or something and let me know. I'm interested to see how it's to know what's going on with that. All right, Mad Duchess is here. Good morning. Thanks for watching. Oh, Harshit only has 2 days left for the summer holidays. So will you have a lot less time then after the holidays, Harshit? Ezekiel says, "This is the best day ever in my life." Is that because the new freeCodeCamp stuff came out? Lucifer says, "Hi, hey, how's it going?" Kesh says, "Can anyone explain how to set up a basic React app with an Express server project without something like Create React App or Gatsby? I want to do that on cloud-based IDEs like Glitch." To tell you the truth, I don't know that I've ever set up React without using something like Next or Create React App. I think I used Gatsby once. So yeah, I I'm not the person to talk to about that, just because I never really had a use case where it would be valuable for me to do it like that. But I'm sure, you know, probably some of the other people in the chat have done it like that. Alex asked if this method that we ended up going with is more reliable than the regular expression. I don't know about reliable. To be honest with you, I would think the method that we used is probably less reliable. I mean, they're both. It's probably going to work, but the fact that there's a delay between like the DOM loads, the user actually sees this. I don't know. That makes me a little bit nervous. So I think for this use case, either one would work, but I would definitely feel more comfortable with the regular expression way of doing it. But sometimes it's just like you make it work, and then if you have time, like you can go back and do it. But on a project this big, it just doesn't make sense for me to spend a ton of time on small details like this. At least not before launch. Like after launch, I could most definitely go in and like work out all these details. But if I try to do all the details now, like the site won't launch for, you know, months and months. Michael says, I didn't realize you could use multiple tags in query selector. I usually cascade them. I didn't realize you could either, but that's really, really helpful. Alright, I am going to take a drink before we start our next session. Okay, I didn't get through everything in the chat, so I will have to pick up where I left off then when we come back. But now let's do some CSS. And where's my timer? There we go. Let's set this. We'll probably just do one more Pomodoro session. And then I got to get back to spending the rest. I have so much to do today, actually. If you'll excuse me for a second, let me just vent for a second on air. So I'm giving a talk this weekend at Pittsburgh Tech Fest on basically setting up what we've been doing here for the last few months. React with WordPress as the content management system using GraphQL. I wanted to do videos so that I could tell people at my talk, like, if you want to know more in depth, check out the videos, because I think I only have a half an hour. So obviously I'm not going to go step by step through this whole thing. I haven't made the videos yet. Like, well, obviously we've done it on a live stream, but I'm not going to tell people like, hey, go watch, I don't know, 100+ hours of the live stream just for this project. So I need to work on that. I have a little bit of work to do for a client. Like, realistically, it'll probably only take me 15 minutes to do the client work, but it's still, like, it's something else on my mind. That has to be done by tomorrow tomorrow morning. And then I still have all this work, right, for this site. So there's still data that needs to be brought over both to the database and to the Google Cloud Storage bucket. So a lot. I haven't done a workout today, which may not seem like a big deal to you, but for like mental health purposes, if I don't get workouts in for a few days in a row, like, I will definitely feel depressed. So while I'm still feeling upbeat, I need to get that workout in. If I wait till tomorrow, I'm afraid like I will just not be up for it, and it'll probably be a downward spiral for a few days. So, all right, vent over. Just wanted to share that with you all. Let's get back to this. All right, so I like this. Let's take this now, why did I do that? Let's grab this, and I'm going to copy this. not really that much to type out, but I'm not going to remember that to type it out. And let's go over here and see, first of all, do we have styles? Yes, we do. We have a faculty CSS file that we can use, and that's awesome. So let's put it in there. And as we're putting that in there, I'm going to explain why we're using this instead of styles inside of our component, which we've done on some other components. Let's find this one. So within our project, we have a static folder and styles, and then that's where all our CSS files are. Okay, so let's go down. Yeah, I'm just going to put this down here, and we'll go CV link A, and then we'll paste those in, save it, and let's refresh, make sure that it'll work. Yep, there we go, our styles are there, and we can verify here, yep, the styles are there, it's coming from our faculty.css file. Great. Here's why we did it like that. The content that we're bringing in that we want to style, right, we're bringing it in from WordPress as a string, and then we're adding it to the DOM here, right? So there are no elements present within this component as it is now where I could just put a style on there like inline, or where I could add a class to let's say if I did all the styles up here as like a JavaScript object, you know, I couldn't add that as we've done in other components, right? Because those essentially, like, those elements that are ending up on the page don't even exist at that point. So what we end up having to do then is kind of do it the old-fashioned way, where we put in this head tag here with a link to our CSS file. As we move forward and clean up this data and pull it in as I really want to do it, you know, the best way that I know how, we can phase this out and we can start putting all our styles inside our component, either as inline styles or as a JavaScript object. All right, then everything can be truly like modular, right, and reusable. We can get rid of those CSS files. For now, this is how we have to do it, because I don't have the time to go through, you know, those thousands of posts now that we have in WordPress, of custom posts, which I've shown you all before. It's too much. So that's why we're doing it this way. If I could, I would do it differently, but there's not really anything wrong with doing it like this. It does just get to be a bit of a mess. We have so many different CSS files for a different component. Some components we have styles going on in 3 different ways. We have inline styles in the component, we have styles in a JavaScript object in a component, and then we have styles in a CSS file that gets pulled into the component. So we don't have a lot of consistency in our CSS right now, but that's a known issue. It's what we have to work out now. It's kind of like an in-between step to get this thing running, but eventually this will be in better shape, you know, once we have more time. But right now, a lot of people are expecting this site to launch. So in terms of what the user will see, they'll never know the difference. When we switch all this over, it'll be the same for them. So it's only going to be from the standpoint of developers and how easy it is to figure out what's going on and you know, contribute, edit the files. That'll be a lot nicer once everything is, you know, organized properly in terms of, you know, all the data, like how we're pulling it in. Okay, so let's move on. Let me check my timer. Yeah, let's move on. We'll do a quick scan of this page, and just say like, okay, I think the rest of this page looks all right. There's nothing that stands out. And when it comes to styles, there's always more you could probably do. But right now, I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for, is there something that looks really weird on this page that looks maybe broken or something like that? So from that point of view, I don't see anything, right? So let's go, let's see, let's just check pages. We'll just go down through and check some pages. Just really quickly. Anything look broken? Actually, I did see something. So let's go to device and let's try this Pixel 2. See what it looks like. This is not good. Alright, so we have this split here. So I noticed this yesterday when I was looking at this on the phone. So let's try that out. We'll try to fix that and see. Wow, that's just hanging out there, right? So we have an H2 tag, then an image, and then right below that we just have the text. So the image is actually within the H2. That's a little odd. You usually don't see that, but that's what we have to work with right now. So ideally what we want to do is, if we can keep the markup exactly the same and just use CSS, that's ideal. That takes the least amount of time for us. If we have to adjust the markup, we want to do that within the component using regular expressions, or like we just did, with a bit of JavaScript, because that saves us from having to manually edit it. If both of those things are impossible, which we haven't really come across that yet, but if they were impossible, that would mean we'd have to go back manually, edit all that stuff in a bunch of places. We don't want to have to do that. So let's try the first thing, CSS. Let's see what we can do. So we're going to have to put the styles on the H2 tag itself. And I'm going to make this bigger since we're dealing with this small viewport. So we can make this a lot bigger. We already have our H2 here. So we're already putting some styles on here in the department.css file. So let's see if there's wrap. I'm not really sure what to do here. Word wrap. All right, so we have break word. That looks terrible as well. So I'm not going to go with that. Maybe let's put something on this image. How about that? Let's see. Wow, it has inline styles on it already, so that's getting pulled in. Float right. Let me know what your thoughts are on this image, but here's what I'm thinking. What if we go with float left, and let's do let's take out this height. 100%, take out the height. How is this gonna... I want to see how this looks up here actually. No, that's way too big. Right, we don't want... Don't want it that big. Alright, how about... Let's refresh the page, just reset it, and let's go with... Are we on the image? We may just need to go with a MediaQuery here. Oh, John Hansen is saying Whitespacenowrap. John is He's also saying, how does that even happen? Image nested in an H2 should not even render. Yeah, this is the markup that we've inherited. So we got to work with it at least for a little while. Alright, so let's try, I'll get rid of that. Let's see what John said. Whitespace, no wrap. Whoops. And let's go back to this. Oops. Maybe I need to put that on the H2 anyway. Oh man, not. Mukesh says try a fixed height with auto width. Okay, could try that. Nikki says, does it make it so that CSS isn't global and only for that page? Yeah, so each page has its own CSS file. Alright, so it's not gonna work, at least not like as is, but let's go down to this image and see if we can. No. Alright, let me see some of the other things. Image, resize, and center. Alright. Let's reset again. And alright, let's assume, to make this simpler, let's assume that we're going to use a MediaQuery, so we only have to deal with the mobile size. So let's figure out where that query needs to be. So we'll figure out exactly where this starts looking really weird. Right here. So let's make that MediaQuery at about 500 pixels just to make it a nice even number so that we can remember. So at about 500 pixels then, we're going to do this. We're going to get rid of the float. 0 auto block. And let's go with, instead of 0 auto, let's go with 8 pixels auto. Actually, I don't really like that being centered. Let's get rid of the margin and margin auto, and let's just go with the margin of 8 pixels all around. Do I like? No, you know what? I don't even like that. Let's go with a margin of 8 and 0. Alright, that looks a lot better. Like, and by better, I don't mean ideal, right? Not perfect, but it doesn't look like it's broken now. Alright, so basically here's what we've done, and this is only going to apply when it's under 500 pixels, right? Because let's just see, like, this is what it would look like when it's over. Not terrible, but it definitely doesn't look as good. We have all this white space, right? That's not better than what we had before, where you had a nice wrapping effect. So for under 500 pixels, we're going to get rid of the float. We're going to add a margin of 8 pixels top and bottom, right? Because we need a little bit of that space here. Up at the top, it's fine. We already have some space, but I'm putting the 8 there just in case. you know, if let's say I come back in and do different things with this spacing, I don't have to worry about it being too close. So, but we do want at least 8 pixels of space between here, you know, potentially even more. You know, that still might be a little close. But we got to remember, I mean, this is on a smaller screen, so we don't want to have a ton of space that's going to increase the amount of scroll. And then we set it to display block, right? That's what finally kind of pushed this down from where it was. So let's put this now in our department.css file, and we're going to have to use important because this is on the element. Hopefully this will work. That's on the element. Alright, let's see if it works. Yeah. So we need to be able to override these inline styles, right, that are right there coming through like from the data that we're pulling in. Alright, so let's find our, where's our static department.css. So we are using department.css. I guess we'll just continue to use that. Technically this isn't a department page, but let's do it, and let's go with this is H2. Yeah, I guess I'm okay with this. Alright, so we'll put this on the H2 image. Yeah, so this will only work on images that are in an H2 tag, which is fine. I'm hoping that that's a rare occurrence. So let's go H2 image. Oh, I forgot I'm not using Sass. Alright, we got to do the MediaQuery first. At media and at media screen and max width. What is this? 500. We said 500 pixels. What did I do? What did I mess up? Nothing, right? This works. And whoops. And then we need to say H2 image. We'll add that in there. And we also need to do float. What do we want to do? Float none? Yeah, none. Let's just verify that that works. Yep. So we're going to do float none. And we're going to put important on there. We don't normally want to use important, right? So in this case, though, we have to, because the markup is really forcing us to, because I'm not going to be able to override inline styles without using that. I'm just going to go ahead and throw it on each one of these. It might not be necessary on every one. But since we're already using it, there's not really that much value in messing around and and potentially not having our styles work. So let's see if this works. Refresh. Okay, awesome. So that works. We can see these styles are being overridden, but the real test is, was this work? Yep, that works. Awesome. So you can see we don't have all that white space. Once again, probably not how I would make this page if I was doing it from scratch, but now it won't look broken. And not only that, hopefully every other page that's using that CSS file that has an image inside an H2 tag will now be fixed. Alright, cool. Let me check my time. 3 more minutes. Let's see if we can find something to squeeze in here in this 3 minutes. Also, I'd like to see, like, are we having similar issues? Wow, so this is going float, inspect. That's not a great image. Like I normally like the image of the San Damiano crucifix. Like we used it in the Catechetical Institute website. That was Project 1 and it looked amazing, but with this background color, it doesn't stand out. So I'm definitely gonna at some point probably try to replace that image. But for now, that's the image that we have. So this is an image within an H1 tag. Wow, okay. And it is using department CSS. So let's do the same thing that we just did, but let's also add in H1 tags. So within here, let's just go with H1 image and H2 image are going to have the same styling. We'll save that, we'll do a refresh, and we'll see, okay, that's on this side. And then, but when it gets bigger, we still have the effect that we want. Alright, great. I think that looks better. You know, not perfect, but much better than having it float to the right. Alright, awesome. We've got about a minute left. Not really confident I can get anything else done in a minute, but let's see. New info coming soon. Employment, HR, wonderful. Alright, that page actually looks like there's no change needed. Faculty openings, nope, and that page doesn't work. I have a list of all the pages that don't work, so I am aware of them all. Academics, let's try undergraduate. This page, yeah, this page is actually okay. We can go, did we already check these out? We did some styling work on these pages. This is kind of weird. So we have different font widths, or font weights, I mean. We have different font weights going on. A lot of different font weights and sizes happening here. So it could probably use some cleanup. At the very least, if like this text were just all the same, I think that would be better. But that'll be, we'll have to save that for a different time. This will end up being an easy fix though. But my timer is running out. I am curious to see why it's doing this. Okay, so these have some inline styles that are overriding what we have here. So really, if we just went with, you know, something like using important for the styles that are likely already there on those P tags, then I think that would work. So for instance, we could just add important here, and this should override it, right? So now we have the proper line height, and then I'm not sure where, yeah, so the font should be Roboto font family, but that's all the way on main. So Roboto sans serif should be important too. Interesting that that's not on main font family. Sans serif important. Yeah, so we may have to go ahead on the P tags and put in font family Roboto important, right? That would fix it. See, so not really a difficult fix here. So, and this is in major CSS, but like really, this is something that could probably be used like across the board. This is standard for P tags, so we may want to make some sort of global style so we don't repeat it all over the place. I kind of think that font is a little small too. I mean, it's 18 pixels, but maybe it's just my screen. Okay, now I'm going to go back to the live chat and answer as much as I can. Also, let's go ahead and push these changes to GitHub. Get status so we can see we've changed faculty.js, our department.css, and faculty.css. So let's do git add and yarn cm. Let's do feature and let's just say add styles for CV link and images and header tags. Heading. Okay, that works. No breaking changes. It does not affect open issues. It's going to run all the linting, all the auto formatting, all the tests, and then it will commit after that, assuming everything passes. Alright, so while that's doing its thing, I'll answer some questions, and then I'll make sure that I push this up to GitHub so that you all can check this out if you want. Oh, that was fast. Awesome. So now I'll just do a git push, and everything is now available on GitHub. Well, now it is. Let's see. Alright, I'm just trying to find where I left off at. Okay, I see now. Harshit asks, can anyone help make an awesome card component for the UI library that I am working on? Alright, so let Harshit know. Harshit, I would love to help you make a card component, but I don't think I'll have time, for sure not this week or weekend. So I guess it depends on how soon you want it done. But if I can, I'll try to help. John says, have you not been using Ver for your CSS colors? No, I haven't. I should. I should use CSS variables. Nikki says, did the new curriculum finally launch? Nice. Yeah, it looks like it. John says, it can be helpful if the link text that isn't an obvious link to load with a subtle but obvious animation like color, scale, translate, or transform when the element becomes visible. Yeah. Oh, I don't have it up there. Yeah, you're right. You know, maybe it might not be a bad idea for all links to, I don't know if this is exactly what you're talking about, but now that you said that, it kind of makes me think, you know, potentially maybe there should be some sort of animation on hover for a link other than just the cursor. You know, the typical cursor pointer. I would want it to be subtle, something just like a very slight shift in color, maybe just in the maybe a little lighter or a little darker. Nothing too crazy. Mad Duchess this is really in comment to someone else in the chat, but Mad Duchess says, I only game Minecraft once in a while. I just stood out to me because I really like Minecraft. I got my oldest son into it. Actually, all my kids except for the baby are into Minecraft. They love it. Even like my 3-year-old. wants to play Minecraft. He gets himself stuck in like holes and needs help to get out, but he likes to run around and like dig, get skeletons and stuff. But anyway, I don't know, anybody else a Minecraft fan out there? Like you can spend a lot of time in Minecraft and just get lost in that world, but I don't know, I think it's a fun game. Niki says, new live stream idea. Jesse gets freeCodeCamp certifications. Actually, that would be fun. That would be really... So if it ever happens that I can't live stream my actual work projects, like, I don't know, if it happens here, it probably won't happen here, but like, let's say I have to get another job for whatever reason and I can't, then maybe that would be a great idea for a stream, to do like all the freeCodeCamp projects live. That would be fun. Although, like, I already have so many side project ideas to do as well, so I could definitely work on those too. Nicola asks, is this website only front end? No, so we're doing everything for it. For this particular stream today, we were just working with front end stuff, but in previous streams and in future streams, you know, we were working with back end, which is Node, but we also have WordPress set up, and we build a PHP plugin for that, and got a Cloud SQL database, cloud storage. Like, we're working on a lot of stuff, so kind of a larger project, and so I think there's something for everyone in this project. Niki says, is there a reason that you import that style sheet in the head tag instead of just importing the CSS file? Is that a Next.js thing? Or is it server-side rendering thing? To be honest with you, I don't remember why we did it that way. I just vaguely remember that we had to do it that way, and that I did try to do it a different way. But I really can't recall. I mean, it's probably on a stream, but I don't remember when that happened. So, yeah, I really don't remember why. It could be that I could do it another way, and then I just didn't figure that way out, and this one worked, so I went with it. But I can't remember. Scrub, I don't know how to pronounce, SKRUBYZ, says, no love for Flexbox, and that was probably when we were doing the image thing. So I like Flexbox, but we just were having to deal with floats already set. Like, we brought this content over from an older system, and that's how they were doing it. So we're just kind of dealing with what we have. Let's see. Niki says, the what frequency in a code review of that stuff you have to work with would be off the charts. Yeah. I'm so used to it. It doesn't really surprise me that much when I see this, but it is pretty wild though. I mean, it keeps it fun, like surprising. Like, it's really it's cool. Like, wow, I've never seen that before. I mean, that's kind of fun that I've been doing this for years and years, and it's like I still see stuff in websites that I've never seen happen in terms of the markup. Like, haven't seen that before. That's cool. It's just amazing what will actually work in a browser. You know, like you can do crazy stuff with a markup and it still actually renders. Michael Creel says, do you run Lighthouse audits on your sites? I was thinking about accessibility. Yeah, I recently ran an audit on this site that we're working on, and I actually got a decent accessibility score, so that's going to be something that we will be working on. It may be... I'm not exactly sure if it'll be pre or post launch when we do a lot with that, because realistically, like, even this site as is a huge improvement over the current website. So I think it's, even if we don't have perfect accessibility score, it's still going to be more accessible. I'll want to double check that to verify, but I'm pretty sure it'll still be more accessible. So I think as an incremental step, launching this would be good, and then we can try to work towards being like fully accessible. So, but it is coming. It's something that is definitely on my mind and I think is important. So that, and I hopefully would love to do work on that during the stream and go through the whole process too of using Lighthouse. I don't know if everybody knows what it is or how to use it, but it might be cool to do a whole stream just on doing Lighthouse and trying to fix all the stuff that can get our scores up. Thanks for bringing that up, though. Jeff says, I have a Minecraft server running at home. Cool. Mad Duchess says, oh, cool, I fall off in lava a lot. The lava, like, I hate that. I mean, you get your character like all built up and you have this sweet armor and stuff, and like no enemies can take you out, and then you just mess up and fall in lava once and you're done. Anyway. Oh, cool. You know what? I've never tried to do anything with servers, like playing online with servers on Minecraft. I always, because my kids were playing it, I was like, I'm just going to let you play this offline and it'll be safe. But maybe, like, if I'm supervising, I could try that out, because that's a whole, like, part of the game that seems really cool that I've never experienced. We're talking about Minecraft, by the way, so... Zuber says, hi, I disconnected from your stream for a while. Is this still the university project? Any plan for starting a new project from beginning to end? Oh yeah, we definitely will. This is still the university project. We for sure have new projects coming up. So we'll start one from beginning to end here. I can't tell you for sure when that'll happen, but it will definitely happen. I'm sure my bosses have lots of stuff lined up for me after I launch this site. Mayseek says, can you show what you did already create, the website? Yeah, you know what? Let me show you the site, but then also, so this, I'll just show you the homepage. There's like way too much to show the whole site, but I can give you the link as well. So I'm going to type that into the live chat here now. Okay, so I just put the link in the live chat. If anybody would like to go to the site, check it out, you know, feel free. Let me know if you got any ideas for making it better, or if you see something that's like for sure broken, please let me know. Anyway, but you know, just kind of really briefly, here's the homepage. You know, one thing I was thinking about for accessibility is I don't really know if this text is readable enough. Like for a person with like good vision, it's okay, but if somebody, you know, doesn't have great vision, I'm not really sure. Like I'm thinking about maybe doing something. I mean, I like this image, and yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do about that, but that's something I've been thinking about lately. You know, about maybe doing something with it. John Hansen says mistakes in HTML markup get rendered in the DOM only because the DOM sees the mistakes and bandages them on the fly, not like PHP. That's cool though. I mean, I don't know, it's good and bad, right? It could encourage people to write their markup in ways that aren't the best. You can write markup in ways that are, let's say, entirely inaccessible to screen readers and things like that, and it'll still work. And so it lets people get away with that, but at the same time, it makes it really easy to build websites. Even if they're not great websites, you can. So, I don't know. I guess there are pros and cons to that. Mad Duchess says, yeah, I wanted to see accessibility and Lighthouse. I heard of it, but haven't used it. Yeah, it's really cool. I'll try to do a stream on that soon then. Yeah, it's awesome. So I definitely want to kind of show it to you all. Anna says, hi, it's my first time here and I don't understand why we left image in H1 and H2. Is it because you're working on an old project and you are afraid that initial styling would crash? Well, kind of, right? So it is an old project, but what we did is we brought over all this markup from one database and transferred it to a new one. So that same pattern of image tags being used inside heading tags is used in a lot of places, most likely. So trying to find all those places and change the markup in every place would be really difficult. It would be time consuming. So that's why we're just trying to work with it as is. I do have a plan to go through and change those eventually, but right now I just need to get it looking good on a screen so that we can launch it, and then hopefully I can have some student workers, interns, contract workers go through all that data and clean it up so that we don't have weird stuff like that going on. But that's definitely a legit question. You normally would not want to leave an image in the H1 tag. Although like it renders, not really the best markup, right? But anyway, good question, Anna. Also, let me know if it's Anna or Anna, or I don't want to mispronounce your name. So let me know what you prefer. Chris says, how is CSS Grid coming along? For me personally, I haven't really been able to do much with it. I haven't had time to work with it. Nikki says, you can now run a Lighthouse check on a page directly from the Chrome DevTools. It's inside the Audits tab. Yeah, it's awesome. It's so easy to run it. Oh, Jeff says, this is for Minecraft again, but this stream has gotten hijacked by Minecraft, sorry. Jeff says you can set up a server using Docker and then let them connect to it locally. You're a genius. You are a Minecraft genius. That's an awesome idea. I'm gonna have to check that out. Like, I literally have like old PCs just sitting around not doing anything. I could like have a server running locally with Docker like all the time, and that's cool. I love that idea. Thank you. Mad Duchess says, it's good you monitor your kids on there. I played on servers with some creepers, so I play on a kid-friendly one. Okay, cool. That's good to know that I'm not just being paranoid. I just assume anything that's multiplayer online, it potentially there's a way for inappropriate stuff to be done or said or whatever on there. So that's why I just never let my kids try that. So so I guess that is in fact the case, unfortunately. Michael Chris has set up a Raspberry Pi as a server. That would be cool. That'd be really cool. All right, Ezekiel says they have a question. Sure, what's your question? I'm not sure. So Ezekiel, you never put your question. So let me know what it is. If I end the stream before you can give me the question, DM me on Twitter or on some social media site, and I'll answer it. Mad Duchess said, site is looking good. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Chris says, I have 2050 and 2070 vision, and the text looks fine to me. However, I am on a 32-inch TV. Okay, cool. Maybe I'll just... We'll see. Maybe I'm worrying about it like prematurely. I haven't gotten any like complaints about it. So yeah, maybe it's not bad. Jeff says, I can see if I can find a Docker file for you. Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, if you could, I would really appreciate that. Primal Fear says, keep up the good work. Thank you. I appreciate that. Phoenix says, I love the grid and I have a slight crush on Flex. That's awesome. I love that, the way you expressed that. Oh, cool. So it says, John and Nikki both are saying that Grid and Flexbox can be used together. That's really cool. All right. I've gotten to the bottom of the live chat, and wow, this stream is pretty decently long. We're over an hour and a half now. So I'm really, really hungry. I'd love to get some lunch right now. And I don't know. This was a fun stream. Let me know if you like these streams where we kind of do some more like basic CSS stuff. It's definitely fun for me because usually everything I try works eventually. And so anyway, I had a good time. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Friday. I'll do my best to stream tomorrow. Although, like as I said, I have a lot to do before my talk on Saturday. If anybody is in Pittsburgh, and I don't know if they're still selling tickets to Pittsburgh Tech Fest, but if they are, check it out. Come see me. And if you're gonna be there, like find me and introduce yourself. I'd love to meet you all in person. So maybe I stream tomorrow, maybe not. If I don't stream tomorrow, then probably won't see y'all until Monday. But until next time, have a wonderful day and or weekend.